move on now to the world of WWE. We gave AEW the shine. Let's move on to the world of WWE. There is one big thing in that build to WrestleMania, many big things, but the one thing we want to focus on is the belt that's not getting talked about. And your boy, man, Chad Gable made an appearance and said he should be the one to fight for one of my favorite, might be my favorite champion all of WWE right now. But let us hear it, man.
Mine
what
too.
do you think is going to happen with this belt?
Well, Gunther's my favorite champion in WWE too right now as well, and I think, well, I whoever faces Gunther at WrestleMania, I think is going to defeat Gunther. So I think it's a very important decision. I think it's time to take the title off the man. You can't do anything more with it. He's done everything to do with it. He's ready to go on for whether he's after Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes, he's ready to go on to that next level. So Chad Gable makes sense to me because Gunther last year defeated him in a title match in the main event of Raw, and it was a great match, and Chad Gable's daughter was in the front row. Broke down in tears. Clip went viral. Gunther in interviews after, because he's just such an awesome heel, just gloating about it. And then, "You're a terrible father," screaming at Chad Gable. Like, that's just brilliant stuff to me. Just a perfect heel, just a ridiculous individual. But yeah, I think Chad Gable would be a great story because he was a Shorty G, all these terrible characters just stuck in tag teams that went nowhere. He had the unfortunate with Jason Jordan. They were a good tag team. Jason Jordan went down with a neck injury. His career's over. He's with Otis. That's okay. They're just a comedy team. I think there's more to Chad Gable, but there's also other options there because Dominik Mysterio confronted Gunther on Raw. I don't want to see Dominik Mysterio versus Gunther, but could be an interesting match. Yeah, because the Judgment Day is like the bloodline on Raw now. They're like the thread line throughout the whole show. So it could be that, but I would love to see Chad Gable get his moment. Who would you like to see face Gunther? Is there anybody on the WWE roster, like out of left field, that you'd like to see? Do you want to see Gunther win at WrestleMania, or do you think he should be dethroned and move on to the major titles in the company?
Well, they did build at the Royal Rumble with Braun Breaker versus Gunther, and that was obviously supposed to be the Brock Lesnar spot, and stuff happened that we won't talk about on this show that took Brock Lesnar out, and that was supposed to be the WrestleMania was Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. So Braun Breaker filling in that role, even though he's just appeared, I think would be a lot of fun, and I think would lead to one heck of a match. But there's no way I mean, maybe you do see Braun Breaker beating him, being the one to beat him. I don't know. That's the only other option that I would enjoy watching. Chad Gable's storyline makes more sense. And again, out of all the things you mentioned about Chad Gable having just the toughest run of nothingness in WWE, you forgot my least favorite Chad Gable moment when he wasn't Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, and it was instead given to Jason Jordan, which again, they pulled a swerve on us, and nothing against Jason Jordan. That guy deserved everything in the world before that injury, but come on, that had to be Chad Gable. It still should have been Chad Gable. Regardless.
I'd block that out of my mind.
Regardless, Chad Gable deserves the spot if we're going storyline-wise. If we're going wrestler-wise, Braun Breaker deserves the spot. And I think if we're on the marquee at WrestleMania, Gunther versus Braun Breaker makes more sense to me to sell tickets. But maybe I'm wrong.
What about this? It just came to me here. You said that Braun Breaker took Brock Lesnar's spot at Royal Rumble, and Dominik Mysterio was supposed to eliminate Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. So that didn't. I think he eliminated Braun Breaker. I could be wrong.
He did. Everything Braun Breaker did, Brock Lesnar was booked to do.
So what about a fatal four-way? Gunther, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, Dominik Mysterio. Can we get there?
I mean, we don't have one yet, do we? Where we have sort of a multi-man match. Everything we've seen so far, other than what The Rock is doing that could end up being a tag, is really a one-on-one match. So every now and again, we usually have some. I mean, remember the ladder match that Zack Ryder won? You know what I mean? Those title matches always happen. One of them is usually a multi-man match. Maybe that could be it. That'd be a lot of fun.
Well, last year was Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. It was a triple threat at WrestleMania 39. And that was a banger. That was an epic match. And I would like that because Dominik Mysterio and Braun Breaker aren't really they're not all that experienced. They're good, but you put them in there with Gunther and Chad Gable, they can carry each other and carry Breaker and Mysterio to a great match. And I think that would be awesome.